Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson confirms he will be retiring from amateur wrestling. Tommaso Ciampa references Scott Steiner's iconic promo on NXT, and Seth Rollins reacts to Becky Lynch hanging out with Big E. What's up, everyone? I'm host Ed G, and there's a lot to talk about in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. Never miss brand new content by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Becky Lynch calls out Charlotte Flair for hinting at gender discrimination. Becky Lynch recently took a shot at Charlotte Flair and raised questions about the Queen's claim of gender discrimination. The Becky Lynch-Charlotte Flair feud has entered territory where fans aren't sure where the line between reality and fiction have been blurred. The reports of the heated real-life backstage confrontation made all the headlines in the wrestling world, and the rumor stated that the two women, who were once best friends in real life, aren't on good terms anymore. Charlotte Flair recently sat down with BT Sport, where she was asked about the reports that she is difficult to work with. She hit back by asking a simple question: would people say the same if she was a man? Becky Lynch responded by taking a shot at Charlotte Flair and said that gender wasn't the issue here. All of the shots taken on and off TV will lead up to this Sunday, where Charlotte Flair will face Becky Lynch in a champions versus champions match. The duo were the champions of the opposite brands until the WWE draft, after which they were made to exchange titles. It was this title exchange that reportedly went off script, and the rumors of the backstage heat on Charlotte Flair began. WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray compared Flair to The Rock, The Undertaker, and Stone Cold Steve Austin when talking about the reports of her being difficult to work with. He simply defended her by saying that it all boils down to knowing your worth. Perhaps all the bad blood will be behind Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair this Sunday at Survivor Series. Shinsuke Nakamura responds to RAW Superstar ahead of Survivor Series match. Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura took to Twitter to send a message to United States Champion Damian Priest ahead of their clash at Survivor Series. Earlier this week, Priest made some strong comments towards Nakamura on the social media site to hype up the champion versus champion match at the upcoming pay-per-view. Not one to back down from a challenge, Shinsuke Nakamura took the time to respond to Damian Priest. Although Priest was not present at this week's Raw, the Archer of Infamy has been on a roll for the past few weeks by successfully defending his United States title against various opponents. Meanwhile, Shinsuke Nakamura and his partner Rick Boogs recently suffered a loss at the hands of Los Lotharios last week on SmackDown. It also didn't help Nakamura's case in the least, as he was the one who took the pin. As both superstars have never faced each other in or outside a WWE ring, their first ever match could prove to be something for fans to look forward to. Although both Priest and Nakamura share a similar physique and striking style, it goes without saying that the United States Champion has a bigger momentum heading into the pay-per-view event if solely judged on their recent win-loss record. Gable Steveson confirms he will be retiring from amateur wrestling. Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson has confirmed on Twitter that his match on Saturday will be the last one of his amateur wrestling career. Since 2021, Steveson has won the NCAA Heavyweight National Championship, the Olympic gold medal in freestyle wrestling, and signed a multi-year deal with the WWE. It was announced back in September when he signed his WWE contract that the former Apple Valley High School star would return for one final collegiate wrestling season this winter. Earlier in the week, the Olympic star took to Twitter to let fans know that the first home match of his career will be his last. Given the status as an Olympic gold medalist, Steveson immediately drew comparisons to Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. After being snapped by WWE in September, Gable Steveson was drafted to Monday Night Raw. The news of his retirement from amateur wrestling could mean that he could be linking up with WWE very soon. With reports suggesting he could have a match at WrestleMania 38, the Olympic gold medalist could be on his way to the Performance Center to get his basics covered before making his debut on Raw. Tommaso Ciampa references Scott Steiner's iconic promo on NXT 2.0. Braun Breaker is one of the stars of NXT 2.0, and he was fast-tracked to a title shot looking very impressive. While confronting NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa for another title shot, the champ referenced an iconic promo from Scott Steiner's past. Ciampa referenced the infamous Steiner Math promo and said that Breakker has only a 33 1/3% chance of winning again since he already fell to the Black Heart at Halloween Havoc. Ciampa addressed a new generation of stars featured in NXT 2.0 before he was interrupted by Breakker. Since he's a holdover from the Black and Gold brand, he has seen a lot of new faces getting pushed. Ciampa referenced Grayson Waller, who had essentially run down how indie veterans got to bigger promotions like WWE earlier in the night, and called out Carmelo Hayes for calling himself the A champion. Ciampa, continuing with his promo, also said that Breakker's bark was louder than his bite and that he is a puppy. Breakker bursts into NXT 2.0 without a literal nod to his famous family. He wears the same singlet his father and uncle wore and uses the gorilla press into a slam. With so much reference to both Scott and Rick Steiner, will they show up on NXT 2.0 at some point? They might come in when Breakker finally wins the NXT Championship. Until then, fans will continue to get nuggets like this in reference to Breakker's family legacy in pro wrestling. Seth Rollins reacts to Becky Lynch hanging out with Big E. Seth Rollins had quite an interesting reaction to seeing his wife Becky Lynch hanging out with WWE Champion Big E. Rollins recently became the #1 contender for E's WWE title on Raw. The two top stars will soon face off for the coveted belt, as Rollins is as determined as ever to get the WWE title around his waist. Meanwhile, Big E and Becky Lynch were recently spotted having a good time at the Barclays Center for the Warriors vs. Nets game. Rollins noticed one of those tweets and responded to it with a GIF. Seth Rollins is a 9-year veteran on the WWE roster. He has done it all in the business and is bound to go down as one of the greatest to ever step foot in a pro wrestling ring. Rollins has portrayed the roles of a babyface and a heel to perfection and is currently an on-screen villain on the Red brand. Seth Rollins hinted in his tweet that Becky Lynch hanging out with the WWE Champion is part of some sinister plan that he's brewed. Lynch and Rollins were on-screen allies back in 2019, but Rollins isn't interested in the same anymore. Big E is currently having the best run of his WWE career as one of the top champions in the promotion, and he will do everything in his power to make sure that Rollins never tastes gold again. Thanks for watching today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. For exclusive content that you never want to miss, you gotta subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. Follow us on all social media and download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.